Hey guys, we're back in Cornelius looking at replacing this driveway with a few changes. The buckling, cracking, settling, all of that, that's the main concern. We're gonna need to make sure we put that back correctly. So the main quote is removing and replacing the sidewalk and driveway with the addition of essentially bringing this in and then right around here, because there's a box there where all the water drains to there, and they have a sup pump to bring it up. So to avoid getting into that, we're basically going to bring it out, and once we get around that box, straighten it. Can't really straighten it out here anyway because of the mailbox. So we're going to basically straighten that out, which when I start measuring it, you'll see. And then from there, I'm going to measure over and make this a double lane driveway. So that way they sometimes have 10 to 12 cars here. So I figured they can park back behind one another. That'll satisfy their needs as a minimum requirement. Plus, when this comes over, however much it comes over, they said it's kind of tight getting in and out of here. So just wherever that goes, continuing it. They're not tied to any of the landscaping. They're okay. If we got to take stuff out, adjust stuff, any of that. Basically be able to bring that out more. The other quote is, hold me back up. She said they love symmetry and they'd prefer this to come out straight. Almost if I grab that and pulled it straight, you can have a bend and then straight. And that's the main quote. The next one, we're looking at either doing like a 20 by 20 parking pad here and or a half circle going through, and they're gonna have a stump grinder company come out. I already explained going through and all the way down all the stumps. But imagine around where that joint is, travel lane goes through here. About 12 feet wide since it has the bend. You want to be able to traverse over it. Plus, then if the whole driveway is parked, you have guest parking if they do the 20 by 20, and the driveway still functions to get in and out if you want to do it that way. With the half circle option, I almost thought about doing like a bend in, and a straight, and maybe leaving like a natural area in between, just to give a little bit of extra something where they could plant something if they'd like. Because that would come out straighter. Imagine this is straight, and then you still have some of that bend to it, but then it also bends back out. And I'll start marking some of this off as I measure, because it's in my mind. I'm going to do a sketch for them, because if they do anything additional beyond remove and replace, HOA has to get involved. I'll double check this in a second, but basically you can kind of see the pine cones. I bring my paint. This is something like 2 or 3 feet, depending on where you measure off. This is like 13. So let's call it 13 and 2, it's 15, and then basically 5 feet out from here is here. Almost lined up to that joint. Now here's where it's kind of nice geometry here. If we basically put this back the same way, you got a 10 by 10 joint to joint flare, which avoids that, even though it's going to get grounded down. From here to that joint is 12 feet. That's perfect for the travel lane for the half circle. And then from here to here is another 20, which means that they want to put in a 20 by 20 here, fits perfectly where I would recommend putting a half circle. Although the new driveway would be 20 feet wide, and if you didn't want to interfere with the double lane function, the 20 would have to start here. So it'd be about this far back, but it'd go 20 feet that way, which is basically in between the two windows. And it'd be basically here, 20 by 20, which really means this would be like a 32 wide by 25. That's overlapping 3 items, but functionally that's what it would look like. And then from here, we can recenter the sidewalk like I was saying. And then wherever we bring that out straight, wherever it makes sense to bend it in. Imagine if we made this symmetrical, it bent out, tie into the straightaway, which would connect to the half circle. So let's measure this back here. You got a 10 by 10 triangle. averages 15 wide over 3111. This being basically 16 and that being 14 where it flows. It's a bit straight and then flows. Well, so let's see something. So really, it's 21 feet over these two sections by 16 feet 7 inches. And then 16 feet 7 inches plus that length divided by 2 is 15 over